On the news, at least 2 persons dead in Lagos tanker explosion. Fubara issues executive order relocating Rivers Assembly sitting to Government House. And EFCC stops dollar transactions, asks embassies to charge in Naira. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Adikun. The Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service has disclosed that 2 men have died in a tanker explosion which occurred on Friday night at the Ijesha end of the Selelink Bridge in Surulere area of the state. According to reports, the incident happened after a collision between a petrol-laden tanker and a heavy-duty truck, spilling the contents of the tanker, which burst into flames. Director at the service, Margaret Adesheye, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday, saying that firefighters responded swiftly to the distress call to extinguish the fire. Adesheye added that efforts are underway to clear the wreckage of the involved vehicles from the road to ensure free flow of traffic and to enable investigative procedures. As the political crisis in Rivers State deepens, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has ordered immediate temporary relocation of the sitting of the State House of Assembly to the auditorium admin block of the Government House, Port Harcourt. According to the governor, the decision was taken because the current House of Assembly complex in its present state is unsafe and constitutes a threat to the lives of the staff and the lawmakers. Fubara said it had become necessary to carry out urgent repairs, renovation and reconstruction of the burnt and damaged chambers of the House of Assembly. This is coming few hours after Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt granted an interim injunction restraining pro-Wike Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Amewule, and 24 other members from parodying themselves as legislators. Still on the Rivers State political crisis, legal expert Liberos Oshoma says elder statesmen and supporters of Governor Fubara and his predecessor Nyesom Wike have a duty to call both parties to order and have them sheath their swords. Speaking on TV 360's flagship program, Deji 360, Oshoma says the crisis has increased development challenges in the state. He further faulted Fubara's statement in which he claimed that the Rivers State House of Assembly exists based on his magnanimity.
This crisis is not, Governor Fubara is not only complicit, even Wike also, who is the godfather of this order, including the Governor Fubara, who is Governor Fubara's godfather and the godfather of all of these politicians, is also complicit in the matter. So 2 of them, that's why I said 2 of them should be called to order. Wike is somewhere beating the drums for those other persons who are, on ground to do his bidding. Like they say, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. And that's why initially, when this whole crisis started, I had sympathy for Governor Fubara, believing that it's always a way of the godfathers always wanting to take a bite much more than they can chew, just like we saw between Obaseki and Oshomole. And Obaseki set the precedent that others are following now by refusing to inaugurate a duly constituted State House of Assembly. And true to type, for 4 years, he ran a state without a properly constituted House of Assembly. And the judiciary also, because they were under the apron strain of the state executive, for 4 years, passed that case, between amongst 9 judges, and didn't even mention it for 1 day. So in the same vein, I see Governor Fubara having learned so well from his counterpart, PDP governor of Edo State, Obaseki, also now wanting to recognize a usurper or a self-acclaimed speaker. I think I see this more like a script. So if your godfather had decided to hijack the State House of Assembly, create whatever you want to create and call it a House of Assembly, just put a stamp there and recognize it as a House of Assembly for the purpose of the Constitution and begin to run with it. But we cannot grow democracy like this if everybody now begins to create their own House of Assembly.
Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN's proposed implementation of a 0.5% cybersecurity fee on all bank transactions has ruffled feathers across the country. Citizens have expressed dissatisfaction, saying this new expense is an extra burden for Nigerians who settle their payment transactions online amid the current economic downturn, making banking transactions more expensive. This report by TV360's Chidi Igwe captures the reactions of residents in the nation's commercial city, Lagos.
According to the CBN, the deduction and collection of the Cybersecurity Levy is sequel to the enactment of the Cybercrime Amendment Act of 2024. The new provision requires a levy of 0.5%, equivalent to 0.5% of all electronic transaction value, to be made by the business specified in the second schedule to this act. Although there are exceptions to the cybersecurity levy, residents in Lagos, Nigeria have kicked against the new online banking charge, describing it as an undercover tax on the masses.
I think at this moment, because the citizens are really facing a lot of things in the country, so I would suggest that this is not the right time to introduce such, because we are still battling with the removal of the fuel subsidy, and also the power, the light, the tariff is on the high side again. So a lot of things is really going on in Nigeria. So they will have make it not to be happening or not to introduce that for now.
We are not happy with this at all, because that cost they are incurring on us is just like an extortion on the citizens. They can as well impose this without taking that charge from us.
Concerns on the electronic implication of these policies were raised as Nigerians struggle to cope with the current situation.
I think it's the wrong time. The economy is really not stable now. A lot of people are going through hardship. There's hunger in the land. So bringing out this policy is not going to help a lot of people really manage these times. So I think it's not a good time, first and foremost, to announce that kind of levy. Then secondly, it doesn't really make any economic sense to charge people cyber security levy or cyber fraud levy, because not everybody is being involved in cyber fraud. So why charge the entire mass for the error or for the fraud committed by a selected few? So I think the implementation process is not actually right. I think it should be done from the aspect of investigation. We have Economic Financial Crimes Commission. These guys should do their job in investigating people who have committed cyber fraud in time past and who have tendencies of committing it again and again.
Financial experts have joined calls against the levy, especially against a backdrop of assurances by the government that its plan to increase revenue would not include introducing new taxes or increasing tax rates. Chidi Igwe, TV360 News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, experts say understanding how to improve cybersecurity and promoting its awareness in workplaces is crucial. Speaking exclusively to TV360 Nigeria, cybersecurity expert Ade Atobatele blamed absence of security measures and the right software as reasons for the increase in cybercrime in Nigeria.
A lot of companies are using old software and not up to date. And cybersecurity software needs to be constantly updated on a minute-by-minute basis. So I would imagine that 70% was actually quite low. Putting in first-line charges means that really what you're creating is a slush fund. And we all know what slush funds do in Nigeria. It seems to be the trend right now that if you have a difficulty in trying to find some money, what you need to do is put a single line in a new law at what seems to be an innocuous percentage, and you'll get a first-line charge whereby only your board, you, and the accountant general are the curators of that money. I don't think there's anything that they're going to do that hasn't been done before, and I don't see other countries putting this in. Of course, there are some African countries who also want to go down the same road, but I don't see them doing it anywhere else.
As the federal government works to tackle the dollarization of the Nigerian economy and the degradation of the naira, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has read the Riot Act to foreign missions based in Nigeria, banning them from transacting in foreign currencies and mandating the use of naira in their financial businesses. The anti-graft agency has also mandated Nigerian foreign missions domiciled abroad to accept the naira in their financial businesses. In a letter addressed to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede registered his displeasure that the embassies charge visa fees and consular services in dollars and other foreign denominations. The EFCC urged the ministry to convey its displeasure to the embassies and issue a warning against disregarding Nigeria's rules and regulations. 29 generals of the Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army have retired from active military service. Of the 29 retired infantry officers who pulled out of active service at the Jaji military cantonment in Kaduna State on Friday, 19 were major generals and 10 were brigadiers general. Major General Victor Ezugu, who spoke on behalf of the retirees, urged their successors to not only sustain the modest strategic, operational and tactical achievements made, but also to surpass them. Nigerian youths under the aegis of Emerging Leaders Forum of Nigeria, ELFON, have called for an immediate halt to the barrage of allegations against the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, he urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to caution the persons spreading defamatory remarks against Matawalle, as such actions could breach the public peace. President of ELFON, Godstime Samuel, said the negative statements are aimed at undermining the integrity of public officials perceived as allies and diehard officers of President Bola Tinubu.
We call on the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to explain to these sponsored protesters that the Commission's constitutional mandate is not driven by personal vendetta, political differences or tribal sentiments, but focused to uphold the rule of law and combating financial crimes without fear of effort or contradiction. Again, intelligence has it that such protests have been coming from Matawalle's political rivals, organized by a few people from Matawalle's home state, Zamfara State, using people from Kefi, Gwagwalada, and Suleja indigenes who could not even read the content of the placards being given to them for protests. If they don't repent from these evil acts of theirs, next time we see any of such miscreants disturbing public peace in any part of our country, Nigeria, we will not hesitate to get them arrested and cause them and their sponsors to face the full wrath of the law.
Some of the decisions that are being taken by the president are hard decisions. In fact, it will only take someone who has the interests of this country at heart to make such decisions. In the past, when things are supposed to be done right, our leaders will pretend to do what is right, do what we want to hear, what we want to see, then later come to blame us for it. But now I think President Bola Tinubu is not even putting 2027 in mind. He's just doing what is right. And I want Nigerians to pray for him, of course. It is our right as citizens to pray for our leaders. So let us pray for him and give him the requisite support and not allow naysayers, those who don't believe in the interests of this country, to come and becloud our sentiment towards him.
The last time we are called against Sakawali, as the Minister of Defense, to come against and protest against him. But right now, I am here to say that I am very sorry because we are called this time around and we are issuing us a black card. So now I am just to make a confession to say that we are very, very sorry that for turning against Matawalle.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Canada fines Binance $4.38 million for breach of money laundering laws. Stay with us for details of this and other stories. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service has disclosed that 2 men have died in a tanker explosion which occurred on Friday night at the Ijesha end of the Saleh Link Bridge in Surulere area of the state. According to reports, the incident happened after a collision between a petrol-laden tanker and a heavy-duty truck, spilling the contents of the tanker, which burst into flames. Director at the service, Margaret Adeshaya, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday, saying that firefighters responded swiftly to the distress call to extinguish the fire. We also told you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has read the Riot Act to foreign missions based in Nigeria, banning them from transacting in foreign currencies and mandating the use of the Naira in their financial businesses. In a letter addressed to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede has also mandated Nigerian foreign missions domiciled abroad to accept the Naira in their financial businesses. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. On business, President Bola Tinubu has commended the inauguration of Nigeria's largest lithium processing plant built by Chinese firm Avatar New Energy Minerals Company Limited in Lafia, Nasarawa State, hailing it as a clear indication of the country's attractiveness for foreign investment. The president made the remarks on Friday in Abuja during a meeting with Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, who was accompanied by the Chinese investors. Tinubu urged the Chinese firms to prioritize environmental protection, community engagement, and corporate social responsibility initiatives as integral part of their operations in Nigeria. A correspondent, Senior Kafo, has details.
As part of the Renewed Hope agenda, the administration of President Bola Tinubu has been winning investors from all over the world to come invest in Nigeria. The effort is beginning to yield positive results. The most recent investor is Avatar, a Chinese company that has just launched a processing facility for lithium with a capacity of 4,000 metric tons per day. It got even better as Kamas Technologies, a well-known Chinese company that produces more than 30% of the world battery material, recently announced a 200 million investment for a second lithium processing facility in Nasarawa State. Some of the investors are here to meet with the president to share insights about their investment and more.
我们包括在全球，我们在韩国，我们在东南亚投资，我们接一个理念，遵守当地的法律法规。
So one of the key principles of our investment overseas, such as our investment in Korea and in Southeast Asia, the principle is that we would abide by the local rules. We would comply with the laws and regulations, and we would adopt the highest standards of construction so as to bring the benefits for the local infrastructure.
The process of lithium project in Nasarawa that will promote the whole last century of Nigeria, the lithium process. We do the exploration, we do the mining, and we do all the processing in-house. We will continue to improve the lives and well-being of the local community.
Both the Minister of Solid Mineral and the Governor of Nasarawa State, who were at the meeting, lending their voices to the significance of the lithium investment project and how the country would benefit from them.
To desist and ensure that companies operating in the sector no longer abandon the mines after they must have finished. It is part of our requirements now for licensing fresh applicants. There must be concrete remediation plans that we see that is viable and workable before we even approve any application for mining.
With this material, he has heard you speak many times about the purity of our lithium, and that is one of the reasons why he said, let him go to this Nigeria for the first time and see the lithium we have, especially at a time that they are commissioning one, rather than he keep buying the pure lithium that he sends from.
An elated President Tinubu promised to ensure the investment thrive and enjoy government support.
Nigeria is a huge market for solar panel. In fact, we have only tried you for these battery lithium aspects of processing. We've been generous. I don't see why that battery cannot be produced here. The labor is cheaper. The economy is more vibrant. Nigeria is dependable. We have the consumption. We have the reliable people. We have the brain and energy.
To strengthen the 53-year-old bilateral ties between the two countries, the Chinese businessmen reaffirmed their continuing investments in Nigeria and promised to abide by the country's mining laws. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
Still on business, the Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Center of Canada, FinTrack, has fined Binance, a popular cryptocurrency platform, $6 million for violating the country's money laundering and terrorist financing laws. FinTrack disclosed that the move to impose an administrative monetary penalty on Binance Holdings Limited is because it failed to register as a foreign money services business with the intelligence body. The anti-money laundering agency says the cryptocurrency firm also failed to report large virtual currency transactions worth $10,000 or more. In other countries, the Palestinian militant group Hamas says that efforts to find a Gaza Strip truce deal were back at square one after Israel effectively spurned a plan from international mediators, and the White House says it was trying to keep the sides engaged, if only virtually. In a recent statement, Hamas says it will consult with other Palestinian factions on a strategy for talks to halt 7 months of war triggered by its deadly October 7 attack on Israel. However, the United Nations has warned that aid from Gaza could grind to a halt in days after Israel seized control this week of the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, a vital route for supplies to the devastated Palestinian enclave. More than 300 people have been killed in flash floods that ripped through multiple Afghan provinces as authorities declared a state of emergency and rushed to rescue the injured. Heavy rains on Friday sent roaring rivers of water and mud crashing through villages and across agricultural land in several provinces, with northern Baghlan one of the hardest hit. The UN's International Organization for Migration disclosed that thousands of houses have been destroyed or damaged in Baghlan alone. While still on a 3-day visit to Nigeria to promote his Invictus Games, Prince Harry has played a seated volleyball match with Army veterans most wounded in battle against the country's Islamist insurgency. The Duke of Sussex arrived with his wife Meghan on Friday in the capital Abuja, where they visited a school for an event on mental health, in a trip that also saw the prince meet wounded Nigerian soldiers in the northwest. At an officers' mess complex in Abuja, Harry's team, dressed in yellow, played off in an exhibition against a team led by Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, but they lost the match 25-21 to the Commander's Squad Team CDS. And still on sports, French President Emmanuel Macron says he hopes star footballer Kylian Mbappe will be freed up by his future club Real Madrid to take part in the Paris Olympics for France. Macron disclosed this on Saturday in a video posted on X, formerly Twitter. The French president is desperate for his country's star player to feature for Le Blues national team in the upcoming Paris Games this summer. Mbappe confirmed on Friday that he will leave French champions Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season, with Real Madrid widely expected to be his next destination. The 25-year-old World Cup winning forward and France captain said himself last week that he wasn't thinking much about the Games. Mbappe will lead France at Euro 2024, which runs from June 14 to July 14 in Germany. And up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Big Brother Naija reality stars and cousins Neo and Venita Akpofure shone brightly at the 10th African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards Cultural Day held in Lagos on Friday night. Neo won the Best Dressed Male Award, while Venita was adjudged the Best Dressed Female for the second consecutive year. The duo donned Ishekiri royal attires for the 10th AMVCA's Cultural Day and Opening Night celebration. They were presented checks of 1 million naira each by the organizers. American celebrity couple Hailey and Justin Bieber have announced that they are expecting their first child together. The couple flaunted Hailey's baby bump in matching Instagram posts and tagged each other in the Instagram caption as the 27-year-old model cradled her baby bump. A representative for Hailey Bieber confirmed that the model is over 6 months pregnant. And that's it on Entertainment News on News Now. Joy Uchejim, TV360, Lagos.
And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Thank you for watching.